And the state government has now, in fact, decided to agree to the conditions that have been set by the protesting junior doctors. Discussions will follow the memorandum of understanding, but permission for videography for the time being has been denied. However, the minutes will be recorded and shared, but there will be no video recording taking place. Let me go across to Tapash as well as Shreya for more on this. Tapash, take us through the response that's now come in on the part of the ruling dispensation in West Bengal to the demands that have been made by the doctors.
Well, see, we had seen high drama since very late afternoon, and there were mails after mails exchanged between the doctors and the government, and finally the doctors have agreed upon. The doctors have also appealed to the state government that they would like to have a video, the meeting recorded, and the recording needs to be handed over to them after the meeting. But that is something that the government have turned down, and finally government have agreed upon to their demand of recording the minutes of the meeting, which would be duly signed by both the parties and would be handed over to the doctors. So on the basis of that mutual agreement, they have agreed to come, and they have just left the Shastro Bhavan, and they will be here. And you can see all bandobast is ready out here. The police postings have been done. Media is also ready. They will be reaching here anytime now. And after that, what they have said that after the deliberations are done, only after that they will come out. However, they will not do a presser outside Chief Minister's residence. They will go back to Shastro Bhavan where they have been protesting. They will have a general body meeting in Shastro Bhavan, and slowly, steadily, they will come and meet the press and announce their decision whether or not to continue with the protest or to withdraw the protest is something they will only deliberate on after having discussions with their other colleagues after a general body meeting outside Shastro Bhavan. Back to you.
All right, Tapash. So the government more or less agreeing to the demands that have been set by the doctors. Let me in fact go across to Shreya as well. Shreya, finally some meeting ground now between both the government as well as the doctors. It appears that the impasse will now, well, very soon end.
Well, of course, we see now at last, finally, the doctors and the government have found a common ground. Remember, the doctors were initially asking for live streaming. After that, when the state denied, then they were asking for the videography of the entire meeting. And they also said the entire video has to be handed over to them immediately after the meeting. Now, Mamata Banerjee last time made it very, very clear because the matter is sub judice. She cannot hand over the video of the meeting to them immediately. Mamata Banerjee also promised that the state is also not going to use the video of the meeting. She says that first I have to approach the Supreme Court, take permission, only after that I'll give you the video of the meeting. And what Mamata Banerjee necessarily told the doctors last time, remember, is that we will give you signed minutes of the meeting to ensure full transparency. You are asking for transparency, let us do minutes and let us get it signed by both the parties. This is what Mamata Banerjee said. Now finally the doctors have agreed to it. They have left from Shastro Bhavan, from where I'm reporting from, and they will be reaching the same residence after some time.
All right, Shreya, stay with us because the back and forth between the government as well as the doctors has continued. Now the doctors, following the government's decision to agree to most of their demands, have now dispatched a fresh mail to the state government. They're saying that we are ready with transcript writers. The entire meeting needs to be transcribed, and the minutes of meeting which will be recorded should be handed over to the doctor's body as well. So in the absence of videography, the doctors are now insisting that not only should the minutes of meeting be recorded, but the entire meeting, the deliberations and the proceedings should in fact be transcribed. Let me go across to Tapash now for more on this. Tapash, an additional demand now being made by the doctors after the state government responded saying that the meeting cannot be videographed. Okay, fair enough. But the doctor's response now is that if you're not going to videograph that particular meeting, then we will require that the meeting be transcribed and that a comprehensive minutes of meeting as well be handed over to the protesting bodies.
Well, absolutely. We had seen a stalemate situation between the government and the doctors on Saturday, and even it continued even today. There were apprehensions whether or not the doctors would come here to participate in this meeting or not. But both the side had to be a little flexible, given the fact that tomorrow there's a hearing at the High Court, at the Supreme Court, and in the earlier hearing, Supreme Court had already requested the doctors to join their work by 5th of September, 10 a.m., which did not happen. So there are apprehensions that if Supreme Court takes any measures for not joining work, if Supreme Court pulls up the state government. So keeping that in mind, both the sides took a conscious decision and decided to be a little flexible on their demands. And finally, the government, the doctors agreed to the points raised by the government, and the government also reciprocated in a very positive manner by agreeing to record the minutes and hand over the minutes to the doctors who will be participating in the meeting today. But all remains. See, this is not the end. Today meeting is happening for the first time. It is good. However, any response from the doctor will be awaited. What response comes from the doctors at the end of the day after holding a GB meeting is going to be very crucial. That will only set the next course of action. That will only set the ball rolling if things go positive for both the government and the doctors. Otherwise, the deadlock will again continue. So the meeting is crucial, but more than that, what will be decided at the GB meeting remains to be even more crucial.
All right, Tapash and Shreya, stay with us. Let me, in fact, go across to my colleague Meghna, who will take us through the response that's come from the doctors following the West Bengal government's decision to meet most of their demands. Remember, in the absence of a videography of the meeting, the doctors have now insisted that the entire proceedings of that particular meeting be completely transcribed. Over to you, Meghna.
Well, absolutely. Tapas was telling us the main points of this mail which has been written. It says, respected sir, thank you for your response. We'd like to reiterate that as per para number 3 of our email, which was sent on 16th of September, we'd like to emphasize that the West Bengal junior doctors representatives are ready for the meeting with 2 professional transcript writers from our side for minute and transcript taking for the entire meeting, and it should be duly signed by all the attendees, which shall be handed over to the Doctors Federation representatives immediately at the end of the meeting. We are ready for the meeting at the earliest, and we are anticipating your cooperation. Of course, these are positive signs, the fact that there may be some thaw between the state government as well as the Junior Doctors Federation. However, Siddharth, the wording of this goes to show that trust is still very elusive.
Absolutely, Meghna. We'll have to see how that meeting now transpires. There's another big update coming from West Bengal, which is that the doctors are now expected to leave for the Chief Minister's residence. They'll also be taking stenographers along, and the doctors will also be recording the minutes of the meeting in as comprehensive and as detailed a manner. The doctors will also be announcing their final decision later. So these are some developments following, of course, a series of correspondences between the West Bengal government and the protesting doctors. Let me go across to Shreya now for more on this. Shreya, the doctors are ready with their side in terms of what they need to do to ensure that the proceedings of this particular meeting are comprehensively recorded. They'll be taking stenographers along with them, and of course also be recording the minutes of the meeting themselves.
Well, of course, we see that the doctors leave from here with 2 professional transcript writers. Remember, they are saying that the minutes are to be recorded from both the sides, and both the parties have to sign, one from the junior doctor side, another one from the state government. So, of course, we see that there is some kind of trust factor, even though we have seen Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee coming outside her Kalighat residence last time on Saturday and telling the doctor that she assures the doctor that transparency will be maintained. Even after that, the doctors were adamant, and from the letter of the language, it is very, very clear that there is some kind of trust issue. But 2 important things. First of all, the doctors have said that in the meeting with the Chief Minister today, they are going to discuss their main 5-point demands. Now, Chief Minister also, when she visited the protest site earlier, she have said it is not possible for the Chief Minister to bow down and agree to all the demands that the doctors are making. So in that case, we will have to first look out to see what transpired in the meeting. What are the major 5-point demands they'll be raising before the Chief Minister? How much agreement can be there that can be made between both the parties, and even after that, will the doctors continue continue with the strike, with the cease walk, or they are going to call it off. It has been over 30 days now. So of course, after the meeting happens, they will do a general body meeting once again where it will be decided. They'll come back to the protest site and declare. So these are the major two things we have to look out for at this point in time, what transpires in the meeting and whether or not the doctors are satisfied enough by the response and reciprocation from the state government to cancel this cease walk and join the walk back.
Let me go across to Tapash as well. Tapash, it's been quite an ordeal for the protesting doctors to have gotten this far in terms of negotiations with the West Bengal government. They've managed to achieve quite a lot in having the West Bengal government now come to the negotiating table and at least consider the demands that they've made. It remains to be seen, however, how the rest of the meeting now proceeds.
Well, it's absolutely. It wasn't a cakewalk for the doctors. They had to, while very hard, they have been protesting over 32, 33, 34 days, and they are protesting outside Shastro Bhavan for last 1 week, exactly to be 7 days now. So there have been demands from the doctors since the day one after Arjikod incident took place. There were denial from the ruling party, there were denial from the government, denial from the Kolkata police. But then we had seen that one after the other, the state government took several measures to gain confidence of the doctors. The doctors were adamant on few demands like safety, security remains to be paramount, senior officials and some controversial persons has to be shunted out.
Sure.
So all those decisions slowly and steadily were taken by the government, but the deadlock started when their demand came to the removal of the chief of the commissioner of police and the health secretary of state government. That's where the deadlock started and the stalemate situation continued. But finally,
Sure.
It's good that both the sides have agreed upon and taken an inch further towards this holistic discussion, and we can only hope that things would transpire in a positive manner. At the
So
end of the
Shreya and Tapash, stay with us because the politics on this matter